I am grateful that we can roll up our sleeves and catch a vision. And that vision in 2015 is that every community matters. Every community matters in this district to me. I don't care if you're Wilmington, Compton, Carson, every community matters. And we have put together a team that also have the same heart that I do, that every community matters. Can you give it up for Team Gibson, who's in the house? We want to appreciate Team Gibson. We've done some dynamic things already in the California State Legislature. I've carried so many bills. 2016, we coined the phrase, I believe. The mayor talked about hope. I'm talking about believing again. What does that mean? I'm glad you asked. We're trying to galvanize people that believe as I believe. We're trying to galvanize a movement in this district that kids don't have to go in the house when the street lights come on, but stay playing in their front yard and not have to worry about bullets or gang intimidation. We're talking about creating a movement of believers, believing that every man and woman that wants a job can get a job, and that job will pay them a decent wage in this community. We believe that we can create an educational system that will educate every one of our children, and even those individuals that have learning disabilities. I believe that no children will drop out of school. I believe that gun violence will be at its all-time low. I believe that we will no longer bury one-year-old children lying in their cribs in this community. And as we move through this district, and we celebrated our one-year anniversary, December 1st, 2016, and we created a listening tour, I heard your voices. I heard, Tim Watkins, the voices of those in Watts, when they said that at night all we hear is sirens and bullets. That's why I'm one of 7 that's carrying gun control bills, because if Congress won't get it together, California will get it together. Many of you know that Assembly Bill 835, which is one of my bills that the governor signed into law. Let me just talk about that for a moment. This is very personal to me. Many of you know our stories. Our son was killed at 3 years old by a hit-and-run motorist. But when I got elected, Pastor, the state law said at that time that there's a 3-year statute of limitations. So you mean to tell me you can kill somebody in a crosswalk and they can wait it out for 3 years, and then the law after that won't do anything? Well, when the voters elected me, I wanted to make sure I did something about it. And I'm so very grateful that in August that Jerry Brown signed my bill into law to remove the statute of limitations on vehicle homicide and manslaughter. I'm so grateful. A few weeks ago, I had an opportunity to meet some veterans. Some veterans who were homeless. We had an opportunity to spend the night on the streets of Wilmington. So when the Congressman Hall talks about veterans being homeless, when you hear about it and see it on TV about homelessness, or you read about it in the newspaper about homelessness, well, I had an opportunity to meet some great people who have fallen down, but they depend on government to give them a hand up. those individuals serve this community, fighting for our safety and our security here in the United States of America. I've met some good people. I met this sister named No Name. She has a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. And she's homeless. She lost her job. She lost her house and her car. And now she's sleeping in the back in the alley. And when I hugged her and I released her, she cried. Because guess what? Because somebody like me cared enough to grab her, to hold her, and to tell her in her eyes that we're going to make a difference. That's why I'm glad that the city of Los Angeles stepped up with their $120 million. The county stepped up with their $130 million. Now it's time for the state of California to step up with our money so that we can make sure that no person is homeless in the streets of California ever again. I've heard your voices to those single mothers who are struggling to make ends meet. You have to buy diapers every day. I'm glad I'm the co-author and the only man on the diaper bill, Assembly Bill 492, that we will give every mother a voucher so that their child can have diapers for 1 year of that child's life free of charge. Because we want to take care of those children. Also, this week, 2 weeks ago, the legislature, the California State Assembly, I was happy to vote in sending the most historic legislation to the governor's desk. You've heard our senator and others talk about it, increasing the minimum wage to $15. Let me say this. It's not enough. We want to make sure that those individuals who live in a one-bedroom apartment can afford a two-bedroom apartment or a three-bedroom apartment, or no longer have to pay rent, but now are paying mortgage. That's why I'm authoring the Mortgage Act bill in Sacramento to take 10% of the homes and the investments from the County of Los Angeles and put renters in those homes and have those renters pay 10 years of your rent, and that's going to go down for a down payment for you to home ownership, so you can also realize part of the American dream, and that is home ownership. We're going to need your help in these next few months. As I close, we're going to need each and every one of your help. We appreciate you being here. Yeah. We appreciate you rubbing elbows with some of our leaders in our community. But we're going to need each and every one of you to get on the phones, to help us knock on doors, to talk about a man who was born and raised here, who didn't parachute in here, who's running for Congress, named Isidore Hall. We're going to need you to talk to your neighbors and get on the phone and talk about someone who has a track record of almost 12 years of public service, who lived in the city of Carson, who's rolling up his sleeve, helping the least of these in our community, named Mike Gibson, for re-election to the California State Assembly. We're going to need each and every one of you to make sure that when you vote for president, that you vote for the right president of the United States and send Donald Trump to hell right where he came from. So are you ready to walk and talk for us? Are you ready to get on the phones for us? Are you ready to knock on doors for us? Are you ready to go the last mile for us? Do we have your support for Isidore Hall for Congress? Do we have your support for Mike Gibson for the State Assembly? Let's make some noise! Thank you very much, and God bless you all.